questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch alongs to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yes, guys, welcome back to Transfer Weekly episode 9. Yes, I'm back from my short break now, and, I'll be back as normal, normal streams, and I'll be back for every Transfer Weekly from now until the end of the season. What we have agreed on is that at the end of the transfer window, we will be doing a finale stream, so it will be called Done Deals, where we're going to go through every single person that we've signed in this transfer window and, just rate the transfer window all together. So yeah, today is mostly full up of updates, because we've covered a lot of people and there's a lot of people to get through and things to update you guys on. So yeah, bit of a quiet week, but the second I start trying to record this, all the news starts coming out. So let's get into it. Please remember that I am recording this on the 26th. So if anything comes out between now and the time in which it's uploaded, I might put it in the edit, but it depends how late it comes out really. So let's get into it. "19-year-old David Ozo has completed a season-long loan move to Championship side Derby County managed by Paul Warne. This is a very exciting move for David because, I think that he's already ready and he's shown it that he can play in the Premier League. He bossed the midfield against Manchester City, so I'm sure that he's good enough to do it in the Premier League already. But a year in Championship football will give him some serious confidence and then come into the Crystal Palace team maybe next year. If Judikore or Wharton may go, Ozo could slot straight in there. Danny Imre has signed a season-long loan to Bromley as well. They're back in the professional leagues now, so they are in League 2 this year. And it'll be a good experience for him. Potentially, after the season he's had in the academy, he should have gone to maybe a League 1 team. But to be fair, any season in men's football and playing a whole season of men's football is better than playing any year in the academy. So it'll be a great move for him. And hopefully maybe, they could get promoted again. Why not? Teo Adaramola looks like he's going to be going to Stockport on a season-long loan as well, to go get him some game times, go build him up some confidence. And it's also reported that he would prefer the move to League One, especially after what happened with him going to Coventry, and that was in the Championship last season. Didn't go the best for him, so I can see why the League One loan is preferred. Just as I'm recording this, Teo has actually gone to Stockport on a season-long loan. So, hope he does the best. Hope he gets a lot of game time. He had a lot of game time at Molenbeek last year. And, let's hope this is his chance to kick on now. Hearts have made a bid for defensive midfielder Malachi Boateng, but they also face some opposition of Stevenage, Exeter and Italian side Pisa, which has just got promoted into the Italian second division. There is no reported fee at the moment, but I wouldn't imagine it being any more than £1 million. There has been no further movement on the situation with Jezran Ratsaki and his move to Southampton as it stands. The reports are saying that he's interested in the move, but then if you look at the performances he's putting in pre-season, the fact that he's in a lot of the social media and a lot of the marketing for the new shirts this season, I don't think that Palace are going to be letting him go. And to be fair, if you've seen the Charlton goal where he sat those two guys down, that was sick. As Palace have stated that they wouldn't mind selling either Ayew or Edouard, and only selling them if the price is right. There have been no suitors, there have been no clubs which have made any movement on these players as of right now, but we will keep you updated on the shorts. Alan Nixon has already stated that it is false that Crystal Palace are trying to redevelop their want for Gabriel Sara for £20 million from Norwich. He says it's false, and with some of the other players that we're looking at right now, maybe this isn't the right kind of move for that kind of money, but from what I can see, he's definitely a baller. With Nusa and Sule, we were reluctant to pay the money that both clubs are asking for. This is because that Dougie believes that the price tag doesn't match the ability of those players at this current moment. Granted, the potential of those two players, is definitely there. They're definitely going to become world-class players maybe in the future. But right now, the price tag that they're asking for is just too much. I believe Nusa's about 25 to 30 million, and it looks like Sule is about 30 million to 35 million. If you look at that he wants to stay in Italy, you know, Roma are looking to be the top suitors for him, but, you know, it's not done until it's done. So technically we could still go in there, but, you know, it is what it is. But as it stands right now, we've walked away from those deals, but don't be surprised if we redevelop our interest depending on what our situation is in the transfer window as it goes on. Ryan Sessegnon, after featuring in a friendly game or in a pre-season game against Charlton for Palace and pictured in a Crystal Palace kit, has decided to sign for his boyhood club Fulham after training at Crystal Palace now for about a month. Rightly so, most of us Palace fans, you know, we're a little bit upset about this because, you know, he's a free agent, he's in a position that we need, and, you know, we can't be going into the third season in a row with only Mitchell being our only left back option, and for it to be a free, you know, I think most of us are thinking, well, why not really? And, you know, it's a little bit scummy using us to keep fit and this and that, but, you know, it is what it is. However, the Athletic have reported that Oliver Glasner was not infused by this player, and he was the one that rejected the signing of this player, as it is not the style of player that he wants. Honestly, with what Glasner's done lately, I'm sure that he's got an idea of what to do, and, you know, that if he doesn't think that this is the right profile of player, and after what Glasner and Dougie have done with this club so far in this short time frame, you know, I don't hate it. Like, if he doesn't want him, you don't have to have him really, but it is what it is, and I trust their judgment. Also, they have promoted Franco Ume as this left-back replacement for, or not even left-back replacement, this left-back backup for Mitchell. So it's nice to see that he's actually promoting some of the youth, because he backs the youth more than Ryan Sessegnon, which is, in my eyes, great. Also, just to clear a little thing up, that some people are saying that Mitchell's only got 1 year left on his contract. Matt Woosman here has confirmed that he's still got 3 years left on his deal. So if he does leave, which I really doubt, he ain't going for cheap. However, saying that, the Palace Way have reported that because of what happened with Ryan Sessegnon, we will be reigniting our interest in Archie Brown, which is a player that is younger than Sessegnon, and he has a lot less injuries than Sessegnon. But remember, a lot of teams at the moment, such as Man United, are looking at left backs as well. So I'm sure that the prices that were quoted before, where they said that his price tag will be similar to what we spent on Munoz, which would be 6.9 to, I guess, £10 million. I'm sure that'll be inflated just a little bit because of this shortage of left backs in the Premier League. Staying on the topic of Fulham, they have agreed a fee for Arsenal attacking midfielder Emile Smith-Rowe. This will be worth up to £35 million, and Crystal Palace did want to match that fee. As we were saying before in the last few weeks, you know, he's a great player, but he's just too injury prone, and he hasn't really played football consistently for the last 2 years, and I don't think that we're going to be wanting to pay that kind of money and put that kind of pressure on his shoulders where we're going to expect him to stay fit when that's just not possible for him at the moment. So due to this, we are looking at some cheaper alternatives such as James McAtee. More on that later. The final update is that Crystal Palace and Marseille have come to an agreement over Ismaïla Sarr. This is reported to be a €15 million fee, which equates to £12.5 million, which, to be fair, is a very reasonable price. You know, any player that can kick a football these days is £10 million. And someone that has previous Premier League experience, European experience now at Marseille, you know, that's a really good price for a lot of player that we're going to get right there. Also, at the time of recording this on Friday, the 26th of July, it is rumoured that his medical is going to be today. So hopefully, if that is the case, then he might already be signed by the time this video comes out. You know, my quick thoughts on him, that we wanted him when he was at Rennes. I think Dougie wanted him as a Zaha replacement. I think I was talking about this on my previous channel, that we should get Ismaïla Sarr. So it's taken 5 years to get him, but we've got our man. So it is what it is. I don't think that he is a Elise replacement. I feel like the Elise replacement is Kamada already, but he's someone that can give us options. He can play on the left wing, he can play on the right wing, he can play striker, and he can play right wing back. You know, someone that's versatile enough to help us out all over the pitch, and he is also quality in that depth. But remember, I think Kamada's going to be the Elise replacement for this season, and then next season, will it be Jez? Will it be França? Or will it be another player that we'll look into? I don't know, but we'll see next season, innit? 21-year-old English attacking midfielder James McAtee is an alternative that Crystal Palace have looked at to Emile Smith-Rowe, which Crystal Palace were looking to sign until the price tag just got out of hand. I think this would be a very nice move for both teams, clubs, and players, really, because he's a very gifted young player who can play on the right as an attacking midfielder, and his preferred foot is his left foot. And he's got a lot of similarities to Michael Elise, but he's not the exact same player profile as Michael Elise, which I'll get into now. McAtee is a natural 10, but he does like to drift over onto the right side, so he's able to pick up the ball from deep, drive towards defenders, and cut in and shoot or pass on his left foot, depending on what the situation needs. He's a very natural dribbler. He loves to get the ball to feet, coming short, hitting a nice pass, a little bit of trickery as well he's got in his game. And he's also able to get out of really tricky situations, 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, and he keeps the ball at his feet as well. He's sort of got a similar driving ability to how Eze does. He's not the fastest guy with the ball, he's not the strongest guy on the ball, but he just sort of seems to glide with the ball at his feet, which is something that I think Palace fans have gotten really used to and we've started to really love because of how Eze does it, really. Some attributes which I'd say are huge is that he has a great crossing ability. He's able to cut in and whip the ball in with his left foot, very similar to what Elise can do. He's a lot stronger than he looks, like I've seen some centre-backs bounce off him because he just seems to shield the ball really well. He seems to move his body really well, and he seems very comfortable with both feet. I seem to remember a goal that he scored against us, actually, where the ball came across him and he shot with his right foot. I've never seen Elise do that, but this one actually went in because he seemed to lift it over Henderson. It might have taken a deflection off Mark, but it's still a goal with his right foot, and that's something that Elise didn't have for us, but then McAtee maybe has over Elise. I'm not saying that McAtee is better than Elise because he's not, but it's still something to look forward to. Lastly, he's got a lot of composure. He's got a lot of composure when the ball's at his feet, so he can think quickly to get out of situations, but he's also good with his finishing. Granted, he hasn't got the most goals in the world, he hasn't got the most assists in the world, but when he's in front of goal, he seems to be very calm, and with a bit more game time, and probably some better players around him as well, and a manager that will believe in him and give him the opportunity to play how he wants to, such as Glasner, I'm sure that his finishing will develop and he'll be a really good player in the future for us. He's done it for Sheffield United in the Championship and here in the Premier League. He just seems to make some good runs in behind, seems to be in the right place at the right time, and also, most importantly, he's got no injuries in his professional career. Last time in the Premier League, so last season, he had 20 starts with 31 total appearances with 3 goals and 3 assists with 1.1 dribbles completed per 90, which is a 40% success rate, which isn't the best, granted, but in that Sheffield United team, trust me, it's a really good turnover. In the Championship, 21 starts in 37 total appearances with 9 goals and 3 assists. Same thing, 1.1 dribbles completed per 90, but this is at a 57% success rate, which is extremely good. So if you've got him playing with confidence, very lethal dribbler of the ball right here. I'm going to show you some images now. So as seen here, he's able to pick up the ball on the right side of the box, shift the ball, shoot with his left foot to the far post. Very similar to like what Michael Elise does. It loops over everyone and goes into the far corner. I'm sure I've seen Elise do 3 or 4 of them in his time at Crystal Palace, but McAtee can do it as well. Not the same quality, but he's still got the facilities to do that. Here you can see him pick up the ball from outside of the box. He's dropped deep to help his team out. He's got 2 nice touches to get around Sander Berg, which is he's got a lot of Premier League experience. Really not the best midfielder in the world, but still he's pressuring him and he's able to do some nice touches, kick the ball out from his feet, drive away and make a simple pass to his teammate. Granted, the pass was a bit rubbish because the teammate had to stop his run, but with a little bit more development, a little bit more game time, a little bit more know-how, he'll fire that ball in to the other teammate, and as you can see, he's asking for the ball back again. So with a little bit more, he can maybe develop a bit more, and that situation could lead to a little bit better of a counter-attack. Here, this flick is just rude, and I'd love to see it at Selhurst Park. But the thing is, though, is you can actually imagine this happening at Selhurst Park. He's standing up the defender, Munoz goes down the wing, nice little flick around the outside, and then you're in. He can whip a nice cross in, maybe JP can get on the end of it. Finally, here you can see he's holding the touchline out wide on the right, cuts in, gets away from the fullback, looks up, whips in an incredible ball, very similar to what Elise can do. And both of the strikers, it's a great ball, but they seem to try and go with it with their feet when they should have just tried to head it. But the thing is, we've seen Elise do that so many times and put it into the exact same area, but the only difference is we've got Eze and JP on the other end of it, who both of them can put the tapping in on the other end, and we've seen it happen quite a few times. Overall, McAtee is a player that we should have really looked at before even thinking about Emil Smith-Rowe. You know, he's doing it now. He's younger than Emil Smith-Rowe. He's got no injuries at all. Transfermarkt quote him at £12 million, but I'd play up to 20 because one, he's English and he's coming from Manchester City with two pretty successful loans in the Premier League and in the Championship. But he was playing in such a bad Sheffield United team. And if he looks this good in that Sheffield United team, I can tell he's going to be a great player if you put other players around him. Also, he's got 2 years left on his contract, so the price hopefully shouldn't go up too high. He seems like a little bit of a mix of how Eze dribbles and how Eze glides with the ball, but then a mix of how Elise thinks about the game, like how he's able to do some nice touches, get out of tight situations, and also the ability to use his left foot how he does. I do think this is a no-brainer for Crystal Palace, and I think we should try and get him to be in the starting lineup, you know, alongside JP and Eze for next season. And also he's got Kamada to learn from as well, so he doesn't have to be that main guy, you know, if it doesn't suit him. Like, Kamada and him can switch and we can rotate there. Like, there's a lot of options here, and I think McAtee is a great asset to have at Crystal Palace. 22-year-old Ivory Coast striker that currently plays for FC Lorient, Mohamed Bamba. I think someone actually said on Twitter we need to buy his friend Sicko Mode.
You guys want to hear Sicko Mode or Mo Bamba?
He's a striker that have just come into the reports of Crystal Palace journalists, you know, very recently. Bolster the strike force of JP, Eddie and Ayew, or maybe it is to replace one of Eddie and Ayew. To be honest, looking at it from afar without even doing too much research, I do think that this is going to be a good deal to look at because he's something a little bit different already. You know, he's 6 foot, which, to be fair, if you look at our current strikers, is very short. Eddie, I think he's 6'3". JP is 6'4". So a 6 foot flat striker is a short guy. He's very young at 22 years old, and he offers something different. You know, he's just very fast. You know, he's able to drive with the ball at his feet. And the last time we had a striker that was comfortable at dribbling with the ball and was pretty fast was, by my guess, is probably Dwight Gale. But his main attribute is the fact that he runs for the whole 90 without fail, and he excels with running in behind because he's got so much pace that if the ball's played over, he's able to move into space, run away from defenders, and if he picks up the ball goal side with defenders behind him, he'll run away from them. That's how fast he is with the ball at his feet. And because of this, he leaves himself and a goalkeeper in a one-on-one situation, which he's very strong in, actually. He's able to chip the keeper. He's got a lot of composure. He's able to put it left and right. I haven't seen him use his left foot too much, but he's very confident using his head and his right foot as well. He's a very versatile striker because I've seen him many times pull out wide to get the ball and drive inside, even pull out wide, go down the touchline and put a ball in for his fellow teammates to score. You know, he seems like a very good team player, and you know, he just seems like he's able to do everything. He can drop deep as well to link up play. He can do a lot, really, for someone that's so young. As shown here, very composed in front of goal. He's able to take the ball from a bouncing position, which is very hard to do, and he cleanly strikes it first time into the near post in the net. Very good goal, struck it with a lot of force, and there was no chance for the keeper to save it. Here, he's able to run away from the fullback, and he's able to cut back, free into the box, and then score a nice goal. Finally, here you can see him running in behind, looking up, taking a nice touch, having a composure to chip the keeper in a 1v1 situation, And, you know, he's done that. He can chip it, he can finesse it, and, you know, he looks and follows it all the way into the net to ensure that it goes in, and then he runs off celebrating. Overall, I do think that Bamba would be a very good prospect for Crystal Palace. Transfermarkt quote him to be around 6 million euros, but Lorient have just been relegated from the top division of French football. So, even though he's just signed for Lorient in January, potentially, if he's gotten relegated already, he might already want out, and there might be a relegation clause in there, so we might actually be able to get him for what they paid for him. I think they paid about 5 million euros, maybe 6, 7. I think it's worth a punt, really, because he's got a lot of talent, he's very young, and he offers something different, and he's a proven goal scorer. You know, 14 goals last season, and a team that just got relegated. I think that says it all, really. But put in the comments below, would you rather Bamba or Tierno Barry? I don't know. They're both great players. And yes, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Please put in the comments below who you want me to cover next week and in the coming weeks. And as always, up the Palace. Eagles.